Kahani Bar brings you a cocktail of stories, both in English and Hindi. I am Richa, and today's story is from our segment Waking Dreams by Neerja K. This collection of short stories was born somewhere between truth and the unknown, between dreams and waking up. Our story for the day is
The Stranger in My Room. Raghuveer Raghav was pacing in his room like a caged tiger. His thick tuft of unruly curls was even more disheveled than usual, hiding his thick glasses that were precariously propped up on his head. His long kurta and ankle-length pajamas fluttered with the small tides of air from his big strides as he walked up and down the room. The corner of his pashmina was holding onto his shoulder for dear life, as most of it swept the floor behind him. Shit! I can't believe he's back. I don't know what he wants with me. He wrung his hands, and there was dread in his eyes. He could feel his heart pounding like a wild animal. He was muttering and flailing his arms, trying to figure out his options. He just wanted to scream and shoo the intruder away, but he couldn't even dare to look at the corner where he was standing. Raghuveer knew there was no avoiding this. He had to face him and just end this once and for all. He took a deep breath and tried to make his frightened, shaky voice as reasonable and calm as possible. Look, I really don't know why you keep showing up here, uninvited. You stand here silently, smiling like a goddamn psycho. I don't know what you want from me. I don't know you. Please leave me alone. I never forget a face, and I know this for sure, I have never seen you before. What? Say something for God's sake. Are you here to kill me? You're driving me crazy, that's for sure. I've started seeing you in my dreams too now. It's terrifying. I'm afraid to go to sleep. Please, I beg you. Kill me if that's what you're here to do. I don't care. Be done with it. At least this torture will end. The stranger said nothing. He just stood there watching Raghuveer, a dark look in his eyes, as if secretly relishing the sight of this poor man unraveling before him like a tumbling ball of wool. Spent from his outburst, Raghuveer collapsed on the armchair, and for a few long minutes, the two of them just stared at each other, each holding the other's gaze. Do you have any shame? Can you see how unreasonable you are being? You break in here, you don't tell me who sent you. What do you want? You stand there and just make me so furious. Nothing. No reaction. He leapt up in anger, and the pashmina gave up and fell to the floor. Raghuveer's voice reached a frenzied pitch, 2 impossible octaves higher, shrieking and crying. He reached for the glass by his bedside and threw it at the intruder. Get out! Get out! Get out! The glass smashed into shards. He turned away and howled and wailed into the wall. After a few minutes, hoping that this had frightened the intruder off, he turned back. Unbelievable! Look at the man's nerve. He was still there. What the hell? Raghuveer clutched his curls in exasperation and started sobbing. His entire body shuddered as he crumpled on the carpet, defeated, deflated, simpering and negotiating now. Please, I have nothing to give you. You seem to be a decent chap. Be kind and just leave, please. I really don't know you. You look at me like you know me, do you? How? Stop smiling for God's sake and just say something. I swear to God, I'll kill you if you don't speak. Or get the hell out. Raghuveer sighed wearily. He had no energy left now to even argue or explain. He felt like he had said all these exact same things earlier too. They never worked before, so why would they now? He just wanted to be alone, sit peacefully in solitude. Maybe he could lay down for a bit. So tired, he muttered to himself. But how could he rest while that man stood and watched him? He might be waiting just for that, for him to let his guard down so he could attack him. When he first moved here, Raghuveer had loved this place. He felt safe and at home here. The garden was pretty and he enjoyed the peace. His own personal space, no one to share it with or have insane conversations with. People were so lame. He was grateful for his sanctuary. No irritating visitors, no annoying friends barging in. Until now. The stranger was close enough to the door. Perhaps if he could take him by surprise, push him out, and quickly lock the door? Chatter would distract him, thought Raghuveer. So he bravely started inching forward as he talked. I have to give it to you. You're quite the trickster. I'm amazed at how you keep sneaking in here day after day. I could have sworn I'd locked the door. Excellent skills. Did you ever work as a magician? He smiled, amused by his own clever joke. Then he smirked and suddenly felt pity for this old man. Why had he been so afraid of him? Now that he looked closely at him, he realized he could easily overpower the fellow. He was slightly stooped, and that sagging, sad, jowly chin, wrinkled hands, and crumpled kurta. He almost felt sorry for him. Are you lonely, old man? Is that why you keep wandering in here? I doubt we could be friends, though. You look like you're close to the finish line. And me? I'm in my prime, man. So many dreams, so much to accomplish. Big ideas, bright future. The world is mine. You just wait and see. What would we even talk about? You with your regrets and the so-called wisdom? Ha! I can see how well that worked for you. He laughed again, mockingly this time. You think you can wear me down and get me to waste my time chatting and hanging out with you? No, thank you. Go find someone else. Get out. Get out. Okay? Get out. What is the matter, Mr. Raghav? Why are you standing in the cold? Where is your shawl? Asked Samira. Let me get it for you. She tried to enter the room. Raghuveer barred her entry, blocking the open door with his arm. Putting a finger to his lips, he whispered, Be careful. Don't enter the room. He's there. Taking his cue, Samira whispered back, Who is there, Mr. Raghav? Remember the man I told you about? He's back. He hissed in anger. I am so sick of him. I've tried everything, but he's so infuriating. Do you know him? Can you help me get him out, please? I've threatened him. I've yelled at him. I don't know what he wants. I almost hit him, but then I felt bad because he's so old. I think we should report him to the cops. I don't know. What do you think? My brain hurts. God, I just want this to end. Samira listened kindly and said, Yes, you're right. He can be frustrating. Let's see if we can get him out together, shall we? She gently held him by his hand and guided him into the room. She picked up his shawl, wrapped it around his shoulders, and said softly, Now, Mr. Raghav, show me, where is he? With bewildered eyes, he looked at her and wagged his finger desperately. Sister Samira, what's wrong with you? Can't you see him standing there? He's right there. Samira smiled and said, Oh yes, of course, I can see him. He's right there. You don't worry. I know how to get him out of here. He will never ever bother you again. Why don't you sit down for a second? I will go and get help. Annoyed, she went out into the corridor to look for the warden. I don't care if he's a new ward boy. You should have briefed him about this when he started. Why did he have to uncover the mirror in Mr. Raghav's room? He was doing so well, and now? She shook her head in frustration. Send 2 ward boys with me and just move that mirror out of the room. Right now, please.
This is Richa signing off. Take good care of yourselves till I'm back with the next story.